Welcome to Island Treasures mini podcast for caregivers. I'm your host and certified caregiver consultant, Allison Banshee of Alongside Caregiver Consulting. This episode has a special shout out to OSPA in the Comox Valley, where you can refresh, renew, and relax. At OSPA, the talented and caring team brings wellness and balance to the minds and bodies of their clients, including caregivers. After caregiving ends, we may find ourselves facing a period of not knowing what to do. Even though it may seem we should have lots of time on our hands because we're no longer hands-on caregiving, this phase may not be as easy as we'd hoped it would be. It may take time for us to adjust and make our way into what is known as the treasuring phase, but it is on the horizon. We may start seeing life differently as we try to figure out what our new purpose is. Brenda Leppington has used her time after caregiving to write stories that highlight what she learned and now treasures from the visits she had with her mom. For this mini episode, we're speaking a little bit more about Brenda Leppington's story called Who Am I Hurting? That's published in the Chicken Soup for the Soul's book, Navigating Elder Care and Dementia, 101 Stories for Family Caregivers, compiled by Amy Newmark and copyrighted 2021. And she's got two stories in this book. The one we are speaking more about today is Who Am I Hurting? When Brenda read her story on the full podcast episode of Island Treasures called Who Am I Hurting?, we heard many takeaways, such as about the cards and letters. So in the story, Brenda mentioned the letters that she would bring to her mom as if they had just been received in the mail, and her mom would read them and share the news contained within with Brenda. So I have several boxes of letters as well from the years. Such a treat, such a treasured memory that Brenda had of those letters. And yeah, letters saved in boxes up in the attic or in the closet. They do have a purpose. As Brenda said, she wished she'd thought to bring the special occasion cards into her mother's room as well as the letters, so that her mom could enjoy the love that was sent each time she had a birthday or celebrated Christmas. And this was the love that was sent to her in those cards over the years from family and friends. Granted, this may not work for everyone who has dementia, but if you have a stack of old cards and letters laying around that were written to your loved one, it's worth giving it a try. We heard how Brenda learned she could have her witty and kind mother back if she visited her mom where her mom was at, matching her emotions and excitement with whatever activity they were doing together, rather than trying to reorient her to the present, because her mom wasn't hurting anyone and she was reliving her good life. Brenda spoke about her mom saying she wished she could feel normal again. And once Brenda understood what she was meaning, Brenda infused normalcy back into the activities that they did together. For instance, when they were out for a walk, they could enjoy seeing the trains or watching children playing at the park, or seeing a puppy, or chasing butterflies, smelling the flowers. And Brenda upped the ante with their coffee dates by creating a warm and cozy atmosphere, like being in the kitchen back at home. She did this by setting up a wooden table, using placemats and their favorite ceramic cups instead of disposable cups from the coffee shop. Brenda provided her mom the opportunity to feel hospitable again, simply by bringing a mini fridge so that her mom could offer her visitors a Pepsi or some baking. And recognizing how important it was for her mom to feel useful, if Brenda had a loose button, she would ask her mom to sew it back on for her. Things we may take for granted meant so much to Brenda's mom. And by making a few adjustments, Brenda was able to help her mom feel a little more normal again. She wasn't hurting anyone. When you have more time, I invite you to listen to the full episode of the Island Treasures podcast called Who Am I Hurting? If you find yourself in the midst of your own caregiving journey and need some supports, I invite you to tap into alongsidecaregiverconsulting.ca. Thanks again for listening to this mini audio version of the podcast or watching the video version, and to Brenda Leppington for writing and reading Who Am I Hurting? And for sharing your insights. Take care.